And California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa, he serves on the House Judiciary Committee. Thank you very much for talking to us. The fraud in Minnesota is just growing deeper and more disturbing by the day. It's not a new revelation. There have been very well-documented investigations into Somali daycare fraud for roughly 6 years now. Just this week, just 2 days ago, we reported on the 2015 investigation, which netted 2 guilty pleas. Yet despite that, the fraud continued. So do you believe Minnesota has gone from ineptitude to arguable criminality?
I do, and thank you for having me on. Garrett made a good prelim leading into this interview, but he used the word alleged. After you've had multiple convictions over a long period of time, and then you see many of the same people in the same pattern doing the same thing, it really isn't alleged. It's a question of how widespread.
And that's a big part of what we're dealing with. And what we're also dealing with is those very investigators. The independent journalists who uncovered the latest round are being trashed on mainstream media as we speak.
Well, in fact, thank you, Fox. You're covering the reality that this is not new, and it just is a question of how deep it goes. And when we get done with Minnesota, what about the other 49 states? Are we, in fact, as Americans, paying for this kind of fraud in the tens of billions of dollars?
I want to talk about the governor, Tim Walz. He has even said that it's no surprise, and while it was easy to find info on the allegations and investigation, it is very unclear that anything has been done about it at all.
Which is important context when you consider that the statements coming from the Minnesota governor's office suggest that they have been on this for years, but also consider it was actually a whistleblower who first flagged this issue back in 2019, and a YouTuber, not an investigator, a freaking YouTuber, this is so mind-boggling, was actually able to find it flourishing in 2025.
So how glaring of a failure is this in oversight by elected officials? Well, the best way to put it is every one of these facilities is required to be inspected 1 or more times a year, and all the YouTuber and others did was walk in and realize that the number claimed and the number there, if any, didn't match.
That's all they had to do. So that means that in the case of the governor, his government representatives clearly saw what was happening, and for whatever reason, nothing happened. In most cases, as by the way the secondary part of this, millions of dollars flowed through, some of it ending up in members of Congress and other political figures' hands as we speak. That is part of the investigation.
All right, so accountability, where does it fall and who's held responsible? We've got 2 guilty pleas so far, but obviously there are going to be many more charges forthcoming. But the Department of Homeland Security has this idea they're reviewing immigration and naturalization cases involving migrants from 19 countries of concern, including Somalia, to determine whether any individuals obtained American citizenship through fraud that could actually warrant denaturalization.
So you've got House Republican Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota. He is calling for the deportation of, quote, every Somali engaged in fraud in Minnesota. Do you support that idea?
Well, back in the days of the early mafia, the Capone days, it was a regular practice when somebody got out of jail that had been naturalized to deport them. The idea that you keep criminals who have asked to become citizens is in fact a relatively new one.
And the reality is, yes, they should. People who commit crimes, who defraud particularly their application to be Americans or lie about their sources, their age, you name it, yes, they should be deported, as we used to do when Ellis Island and America was at the height of welcoming people. We welcome people who want to become Americans. We don't welcome people who want to defraud fellow Americans. Congressman Darrell Issa, it's always great to talk to you, and especially today on New Year's Day. So Happy New Year to you. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Click here to subscribe to Fox News' YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.